Holy shit, lads. The Communist News Network came to my hometown. Now, I knew that they were there. Saturday, I was at the parts store, and the guys in the parts store told me that they were there because they know that I am a rather outspoken guy, and they thought I would like to know that they were down at the Spring House Cafe. They said, "Why don't you go on down there?" I said, "They're down there talking to Brian Keithley," and I said, "Well, I think Brian can handle it."
I think there is a stigma to wearing a mask. I know I've talked to people and I've heard them say, well, I want to wear a mask, but I'm afraid people will judge me and think I'm weird or a sheep.
Is that the word they use, is sheep?
Yeah. That's what I've been called.
Well, bah, then, I suppose. CNN believes that we're all just a bunch of uneducated hill folk that live in the country. Backwards, unwashed, and that we should be obedient to our big city overlords. Which explains why they are always talking about getting rid of the Electoral College. That way, rural people won't have a say in anything political in this country.
I feel like I'm pretty hated right now.
Michelle Walker has become an unlikely villain in this remote part of Missouri. She runs the Carter County Health Center, which wasn't a controversial job until COVID. She says many residents resent her team's efforts to control a virus they don't believe can be controlled.
Oh, is that what she said? I mean, I didn't hear her say it, so I'm just supposed to take this lady's word for it, right? The truth is that they don't resent their attempts to try and control a virus. They resent their attempts to try and control people.
At first, they were very scared and very aware, but recently, they're bored with it.
At first, these media hacks said, oh, we just need to lock down for a few weeks to flatten the curve. As a matter of fact, I took 3 months off work, stayed home with my family because, well, I could afford to. And I didn't want to drag a virus home from me being out over the road to my family. I took 3 months off work and just sat around the house. And I went back to work like 4 months ago. What more do you want from us?
Everybody's tired of it.
In my opinion, a lot of people don't think of the severity of the illness or even the reality of the illness. They think just it's affecting their everyday life. COVID kind of took normal, everyday country living.
COVID is spiking in rural America, including here in the Ozarks. Walker says Carter County's positivity rate has risen to 30% in the last week, and their cases went from 40 in August to about 200 now. That's a lot in a county with just 6,000 people, no hospital, and 2 ambulances.
Yeah, so 40 to 200 in a span of 3 months. I recall Dr. Fauci saying it would double every 2 weeks. So their math really doesn't add up. As a matter of fact, in rural America, we do not live stacked on top of each other. We live spread out. So this disease has not spread rampantly through our population like it does in the cities. Yet the people from the city want to dictate rules for us in the same fashion that they do within their cities. But we live differently than they do, and we don't want to follow their stupid rules.
This is currently where we're housing all of the county's PPE.
Everyone knows everyone here. They know who's in quarantine and who wears masks.
Yes, everyone does know everyone here. As a matter of fact, I know every single face in this video. I know every person in this video by name. And I can't speak for other people in town, but I do not care if you wear a mask. I don't care. Wear a mask all you want. I won't judge you. I won't call you a sheep. But you're not going to dictate to me that I must wear a mask. As a matter of fact, that is the attitude of most people in the area. If you want people in the foothills of the Ozarks to wear masks, the best strategy is to tell them not to wear them, because we are defiant people. When I was young and growing up in this town, this was a Democrat stronghold, but the Democrat Party has lost places like this because all they want to do is control people, and people from towns like this are self-reliant and they don't want to be controlled, period. And the left does not understand that. They don't understand our culture at all, and that is why they have completely lost places like this.
There's a lot of shame, mean It's a lot of the reason why we're seeing cases rise now is because people don't want to get tested because they don't want to affect people's lives and they don't want to risk their aunt, uncle, niece, or their ball team getting quarantined.
We talked to the people at the health department. They feel like now they're kind of hated in town.
They are.
Why?
We're really fortunate to have them there until they start telling people how to live their lives.
Now this is why I didn't go down there, because I knew Brian was talking to them. And Brian is a smart man, and he's right. As soon as they start telling people how to live their lives, they piss everyone off. The left takes this position of intellectual and moral superiority. We're smarter than you, we're morally superior to you, so you should just do as we say. That's how the left behaves.
To be perfectly honest with you, if I walk through town wearing a mask, there'll be somebody call me a hippie for wearing a mask.
When COVID first hit, Brian Keithley and his family stockpiled goods and stayed home for weeks. Now he says he's over it and that it's gotten too political.
We sit in the coffee shop and watch people walk in the door. We look at a mask and we all look at each other and we go, Democrat.
Republicans are free thinkers.
It's a political virus for the most part.
Who made it political?
The government.
Who's in charge of the government?
Would you like to put all this off on Trump?
No,
And he should have been a
wouldn't.
leader. And he should have got up in the front of the podium and said, everyone wear their masks. It's a really good mask. It's a really, really good mask. We have the greatest masks ever. Nobody cares what Trump has to say. There's no politician, there's no person of authority of any kind that can issue any kind of order that's going to make people abide by this.
Who made it political, she asks. Well, CNN made it political, obviously. Well, who's in charge of the government? She's trying to make it political right there. But Brian's right. He says there's no politician. No one cares what Trump says. And we don't care what Trump says. But they try to put it off like it's Trump's fault. No, it is the spirit of defiance that exists in the Ozarks. This whole area was founded by defiant people. This whole place was built by outlaws. And all these people are the descendants of outlaws. But they don't understand our culture. Once again, they do not understand the culture at all. That's why they cannot control us. And that's why they do not like us. That's why they want to get rid of the Electoral College so our votes don't count, so they can just rule over us like we're subjects instead of citizens. But that will never fly in a place like my hometown. It will never, ever fly. Period. And it's not about what Trump says. Trump could come out and tell everyone to wear masks, and everyone in my hometown would throw him the bird and probably vote Democrat, honestly. But it's not the Republicans that are trying to force us to do things. It's the Democrat Party. So you'll see a lot of Trump hats in my hometown. The ones who are the authoritarians will never win in my hometown.
Do you wear a mask? I'm not a Democrat. See there? I told you it was a political situation.
I don't know what it would take for people to take it more seriously. And I'm just really tired of people insinuating that it's about politics when it's really about people's health.
Yeah, it's totally not about politics, guys. That's why CNN's doing close-ups of Trump hats. Yeah, it's totally not about politics, guys. That's why they clipped in this here video of Brian shooting his pistol.
For the most part, people are revolting against it, and revolting to the point that they're maybe causing a little damage.
Yes, sir, revolting against it. The spirit of defiance I've been talking about. If you try and force anyone to do anything in this area, they're going to do the opposite. And CNN discredits itself every single day, so no one believes a fucking thing that they say. And if they say anything, people are going to believe that the opposite is true.
But does that make you a bad human when you finally just give in and realize it's here to stay? I can't help everybody, and I can't keep everyone safe. And I know that there's a chance that I may get it, and it's a calculated risk. I guess if I get it and it kills me, then it's slow walking and sad singing for the family.
What would you put on your tombstone?
Didn't wear a mask.
Ellie Reeve, CNN, Van Buren, Missouri.
Brian defiantly says, didn't wear a mask, meaning died a free man. I'll tell you the truth, me and Brian did not start off on the right foot, and that was my fault. But I'll tell you the truth, I do have a lot of respect for him. I messaged him and I told him I thought he did a good job of repping Van Buren. in the spirit of Van Buren. And I'm sure that he didn't really like the edits. And he told me that it was a 70-minute interview and they used 1 minute of it. And you know that CNN cut this out in a way to push their agenda, just like they always do. But in that 70-minute interview, he never said anything that he did not want to be on the news. Because even backwards, unwashed hill folk like us are smarter than CNN by a long shot. I'll tell you what I'll do now. I'll read some comments from people in our community discussing our 15 minutes of fame on the Commie News Network, or the Clinton News Network, whichever. I won't show their posts and their comments. I'm not going to show their names, but I'm going to read what they're saying. One man made a post, and I'm just going to read it, and I'll read several comments from it. And he said, CNN set up our town/county. They were here to make it all about politics and to spread their agenda. They don't care about COVID. They're trying to get Joe Biden elected. If this isn't so, then why did they show the close-ups of Trump hats and Brian shooting at a target? What did that have to do with COVID? They came here to divide our community, then pack up and leave. Why didn't they show our community working together, helping each other out? Why didn't they show how our community raised money for a family that just lost a family member? Let's stick together, Carter County. Don't let them succeed. And this is true. This small town always has been close-knit and stuck together. And anytime someone loses someone, we raise money to bury them. Anytime someone's sick, has a bad accident, we raise money for their medical expenses. We don't ask their political affiliations. We just do that for each other. And we have a great community. And CNN can go fuck itself. Someone said, why did the Communist News Network come to Van Buren at all? Did someone invite them? First mistake was talking to liberal media who never reports the truth to begin with. I did not see the show because I refuse to watch CNN or MSNBC. Like I said, they discredit themselves endlessly. Someone said politics is a bigger virus than COVID. Someone said I don't watch CNN. Someone said Communist News Network, that's why they have no interest in what good can come from a small community unless it fits their agenda. Someone else said, I just want to say I love Brian's Democrats comment. He had me rolling. Also, can anyone tell me if it's 200 active cases or 200 total cases? It's a big difference in the severity of the spread depending on which one of those it is. Turns out it's like 25 active cases. It's like 200 cases total since this whole thing started, as someone showed some numbers on that. It was about 25 active. I was close. This doesn't mean it's not real. It's just that it's not widespread as they want us to think, said one person. Someone said CNN is not welcome in Van Buren. Someone said they did not show the positive things that make this community so wonderful. It's hard. Life is just hard, especially right now, but I think we have to hold to the positive and keep moving forward. That story could have been told many different ways. It could have been balanced between the challenges faced and the positives being done. But it wasn't. So how does that impact the community as a whole? So, turns out that no one really cares what CNN says. Thanks for watching. This has been DWB. And remember, don't be a fucking commie.